Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being patient with us because we've been having some stuff going on here, guys.
Oh
But
yeah.
first of all, welcome, Dina. Thank you so much for being here. I know this has been a little bit trying to get us to go live together, but we finally got it today. So thank you so much for being so
Yay.
flexible and so kind about everything. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you. I appreciate you. So thank you everybody for joining Voices from the Liminal. As you can see, we have the wonderful and beautiful Dina Rosenberg. She is the creator of Crystal Keys Tarot, which is not out yet. But if you want to get your little hands on a wonderful deck like this, you go out to her store online, and I did pin her shop at the top of the comments here, where you can actually pick up your own copy, because I did pick up an extra copy. And if you stay to the end, guess what, guys? I will be giving away and
Ooh,
mailing out to you her copy that was sent to me. So here's my copy that Red Wheel sent me, and then this is the copy that I bought from Dina's shop. So if you stay
awesome.
to the end, all the way to the end, we'll do a giveaway. And you have to be in the US, of course, because shipping to Canada and any other place is
Mm,
absolutely crazy. But yeah, so first of all, Dina, she is a co-owner of the Amityville Apothecary, Italian folk witch, and the creator of the upcoming, or as you can see in my hands, the Crystal Keys Tarot, which was published by Red Wheel Wiser Books. Dina work beautifully bridges crystal energy, intuitive tarot practice, and the everyday enchantment of folk magic traditions. In tonight's conversation, we'll explore the inspiration behind the Crystal Keys Tarot, the connection between crystals and tarot archetypes, which, let me tell you guys, I've already looked at this deck and I already read the whole guidebook. They're perfection, literally perfection. The archetypes and the crystals that were chosen together, they made complete sense. So it's beautiful, guys. And how ancestral traditions continue to shape modern magic practice. So, Dina, once again, thank you so much for being here. I
oh my
appreciate you
gosh.
and this beautiful deck of yours. I mean, hello. Okay, guys, look at this. There's some beautiful, shiny purple gilding on here, guys. I mean, it's gorgeous. Here are the backs, and they're beautiful. And if you haven't already seen my unboxing, don't forget to do that after the live, because I go through every single one of these beautiful, beautiful images. And if you follow Dina on social media, she's been pulling cards every single day and
Yeah.
showing all of these images. So these are beautiful, Dina. Absolutely
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a 4-year project. So it definitely took so much time to make the pairings and even decide
Hmm.
that we were going to go ahead and do this because I got my first tarot deck in 1995 and I was like just so frustrated that I didn't consider myself to be, a good enough reader. I couldn't get, the meanings down. I was like, why am I struggling with this? And,
Yeah.
having the shop for now 7.5 years, I'm like, I should be better at reading. I don't read in the shop. I do read out at events and stuff like that. But I got this flash of inspiration that Moldavite and the Tower were like the same
Yes.
energy. And I was like, wait a second.
The
What
image
if I could do
itself.
this?
Yeah. The image of Moldavite and the tower is absolutely perfection. Because when I saw that, I was like, oh, this makes
Yeah.
sense, because you see that big meteorite coming down, which is what Moldavite is. It's coming down and it is literally crashing into the tower, causing that tower moment. So a lot of these images, not only just the crystals you use, but the images themselves were complete perfection.
So
Complete
Amalia,
perfection.
who is yeah, Amalia, who is the illustrator, really wove in a lot of photos of the crystals and different layers of the crystals. So what we
Mhm.
wanted was the crystal energy to really come through. So if you are into crystals, the crystal definition will inform your tarot. And if you're more into tarot and you haven't gotten into crystals yet, it'll work the other way. So that was really the
Yeah.
intent.
Yeah.
That was
I mean,
the
that's a
intent.
beautiful, when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is perfection.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them that are, I mean, I feel like they all are. I feel like the crystals you use in every single one of these make complete sense. And then you also have at the bottom, you have a blurb on, so you have like a page and a half for each of the cards on what you're writing, but you also have like what the crystal is, how it's connected to that archetype,
Yes.
as well as just like a one sentence at the bottom, like bumblebee jasper is this, or selenite is this, or green aventurine
Yeah.
is this. So,
And also a little affirmation to work with. I was
mhm.
thinking about one of my favorite crystal books to get definitions from is Robert Simmons' Book of Stones. And at the end of each entry for each crystal, he has, or Naisha, created an affirmation for how to work with the energy of each crystal. And I thought that would be like really interesting if we did this for crystal keys, because sometimes you might get a card or a few cards and maybe they're not preferred. And maybe you're going through something that's a little bit heavier and you're like, what can I use as an anchor? So maybe you have the crystal, you could throw it in your pocket, but if you don't, at the very least, you have that affirmation that will help you work with the energy as well.
Or you can just take the card with you. If
Or
you
you
don't
could do
have
that.
that crystal, you know, you have the energy of that crystal infused in the card, even when you're doing candle magic, any of that stuff, spell
Yeah,
workings. I think having both combinations, like sometimes I don't have the herb that I need, but I have the
right.
deck that has the herbs on it. So I'll use that as my
Yeah.
little stand-in. So I think
Well,
this will also do the same thing.
you know the trick about crystals, right? I can't believe I haven't been talking more about this, or at least the way I was taught by my teacher was, if you don't have a crystal, but you have a piece of clear quartz, you
Hmm.
could ask clear quartz to take on the energy of any other crystal and say, take the place of green aventurine, take the place of
Yep.
multivite, take the place of, wolfenite, because wolfenite's sort of like a rare stone.
Yeah, so
Um,
I read that one in the in your deck here, the Wolfenite, and I had never heard of Wolfenite before. There's
yeah.
several in here that I'm looking through, and I'm like, I've never heard of these crystals before.
Yeah, that was challenging because the way the deck was conceived and the way the pairings came about, it wasn't that I created a list of 78 crystals and then started to do this like mix and match, like something that you maybe would have done in elementary school when you were a kid, right? You like do those
Yeah.
lines. I forgot what they were called, like word matches, whatever. That's not the way it worked. The way it worked was I would channel the card. So I would read a lot of different books and definitions, and I'd really sit with the card and then think about and allow what crystal would want to come through. And so
Ooh.
that's why there are some stones where you're gonna be like, I never heard of that. I never heard of that.
Hmm.
Um, because that's what came through. The other thing was, it was really important for us to, both Amalia, the illustrator, and myself, to have like a color palette for each of the minor arcana, because we wanted you to know that you were in the suit when you were in the suit.
Yeah,
So,
I
oh, you
did
could do
notice that.
I see people in the chats talking about how cool it would be with a crystal grid. You could do a body layout, like put it like, instead,
Yeah.
if you don't have the crystals, you could use
So
the
I'm going to say
colors.
hi to people because I know we kind of already jumped into the questions here, and I
Yeah.
can only see some of the comments in here, guys. Since we had to like log out, log in, Mercury retrograde was really hitting, and we were having some major issues backstage. I can only see up until 6:02, which is this first comment. I know I saw Bobby in the chat. Hello, Amber. We have Courtney from Aries Witchcraft is here. We have, of course, the wonderful Miss Tarot D here. She's already saying hi to some people as well as to Wild Raven Tarot. Here we have Bobby. Hola, madrina. Let's see, there's a lot of chat going on in here. We have Debbie from Debbie's Witchy Vlog. Thank you for being here, my beautiful sister. We have Mand. Hi, Mand. So Mand is from Ireland.
Oh,
But
hi.
yeah, thank you for being here, man. Let's see. We have my beautiful sister Rochelle from Amethyst Ascension.
So cool.
Yep. We have Krista here. Hey, Krista, how are you? We have Summer. Thank you, Summer, for being here. These are all like my beautiful sisters from all my.
Oh,
No, you're not late.
awesome.
You're fine. You're fine. This
Right
one's
on
also,
time.
yep, also my sister, Gold Monday XY. Thank you, Roman, for being here. We have like a little joke that I accidentally called him sister, and since then it just stuck.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I know. It's so funny. Okay. Um, thank you so much, man, for being here. I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to make a live because the time difference that you have. So it's probably what, 11 p.m. your time? That's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
think so. I
thinking.
think
Yeah.
it's 5 or
Uh,
it's 4. I don't know how it works with the daylight savings.
So Courtney is talking about the corpse crystal. So when I was
Mm,
doing
Vivianite.
Vivianite, so as when I was doing my unboxing of your deck, I showed my little slab of Vivianite that I have sitting in a coffin. Because you have a ginormous one.
Yeah, it's really gigantic.
But it definitely has an interesting energy to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So
It does.
this is, yeah, there's my
It's gorgeous.
my Vivianite.
That's
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah. So I do have it sitting in a coffin on my ancestral altar.
No, Vivianite and Kyanite are not from the same family, and they're not from the same place. Well, that's not so, because a lot of the like the Vivianite you have, that's Brazilian Vivianite. There's also Romanian Vivianite that looks a little bit different.
Nope.
But Kyanite also is Brazilian, but they're not the same family.
Okay.
But they're amazing. They're amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely
Wonderful.
great.
So you mentioned that you had your first tarot deck back in 95.
Yeah.
And
95.
how did you acquire that deck?
So I'm Italian. My mother bought it for me. I'm gonna have my Italian accent's gonna come out. I got it from my mother. Got it from my mother. The story is that I was super into the Sandman comic by Neil Gaiman, and it was running at the
Yeah.
time. And they had released a Vertigo Tarot, which was not just Sandman. There's like this Vertigo DC Comics universe with all these different characters. And Dave McKeon did the art, and Rachel Pollack wrote the book. And I used to go to the comic book shop to get the copies of the Sandman as it was released. And the dude behind the counter was like, "Look, we have this. It's come out." So I asked my mother for it for Christmas. I was 20. So I'm aging myself. I was in college, and it was $50 in 1995. So it was expensive.
Wow. It was
Yeah.
expensive back then.
Yeah. I mean, $50 for a deck is sort of expensive now.
Now, yes.
So, um, so yeah, she got it for me, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, man. Like, it was bad. I mean, probably because I don't even know all the characters. I only knew the characters from the Sandman. I didn't know the other Vertigo characters. So it
Yeah.
didn't make any sense to me. And then I was like suffering through like the Celtic cross spread, which I am still terrible at to this day. And I put it aside. I would read it, like my friends would ask. I actually have um yes, I love comic books. And I still have readings that I wrote out by hand for my like dorm mates in the box on loose leaf paper from the
That's
90s.
beautiful. Beautiful. Because you have a beautiful spread in your guidebook now. And it's
Yes.
the manifestation spread, which so let me just go back a little bit. What happened earlier today? I lost electricity and I was messaging Dina, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I hope we have our electricity back. It's been going on since Friday. So it's been an ordeal with not having electricity. In the meantime, while I couldn't work, I'm like, well, let me do my manifestation spread. And as I was doing the manifestation spread and I'm sending it to Dina, she responds with, "Where's the cups?" So My spread had the Two of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, the Knight of Wands, Ace of Wands, Two of Swords, Seven of Swords, and then the final card, which I love and I explained to you, is the Emperor. And Bobby knows who the Emperor is. So she was like, "Where's the cups at? There's no cup energy in here." And then you had mentioned Maria Alvarez,
Yeah.
who had mentioned what's missing from your spread when you do something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we had her on our podcast, which is called Apothecary After Dark,
Hmm.
and we do a lot of authors and creators,
Yeah.
and she reads tableau style, which is traditionally a style that you read Lenormand in, which is
Norman with. Yeah.
another divinatory system. I am not a
Yes.
Lenormand reader. I am barely a tarot reader, let alone a Lenormand reader. Although I heard it's like a little easier and more direct.
It
But that
is.
being said,
It is kind of easier, but it's
yes.
still it's a whole different process to learn.
Yeah. So she said during that interview that it's not just about the cards that you get, it's about what isn't there. And if you see that you're getting certain suits, but other suits just aren't showing up at all, that's also something to pay attention to. So now that I got that information from her,
Hmm.
I'm literally obsessed with the concept of what's not there and like what
Hmm.
might be connecting.
So I told her, and she's like, "Where are your cups?" And I resonate with the cups energy, but I feel like even though I didn't have a single cup in here, I think the cards and I despise the swords because they're so hard, you know? They're so hard. And that's what I
Oh,
pretty much
come
got was
on.
swords, you know? It's pretty much what I got. What's your least favorite suit? For me, it's the swords.
It's so funny. I've maybe because I'm a little bit older, I know a lot of people don't prefer swords because the energy of the swords is cutting, it's direct. But for me, it's truth and it's not fantasy. So, like, would you rather know or would you rather not know and be taken advantage of? So, I sort of
Yes and
like the
no. Yes
spirit.
and no. It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's tough.
I'm okay with swords. I would say probably wands, even though I'm like super creative and action oriented, probably wands, I would say. Um,
But you resonate with the Queen of Swords, don't you?
I do resonate with the Queen of Swords. That's so in the Thoth Tarot system, the Queen of Swords is my birth card.
Okay. And that is
So
actually what is on the cover.
I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, that's
That was a
actually the
surprise.
yeah.
That was so weird to me because we, as the creator and the author, we only control um, the card art Amalia did, the
Mhm.
correspondences I did, and then I wrote the book. And so we don't have control over what they decide to put on the cover, what they decide to put on the book, how they decide to lay out the book. We didn't know that they were going to do the
Yeah.
purple. We didn't like Amalia did design the back. She like tweaked
Mhm.
it once we saw what their proposal was, but we don't when I saw that they put the Queen of Swords on the cover, I was like, of
Yes.
course they did. Because
Yeah.
this whole project has literally been talk about like manifesting, like a master class in manifesting. And when you're aware of and cognizant of the energy and you ride the energy, how everything just starts like aligning and coming in.
Yes, thank you, Draven. The box art
Thank
is
you.
beautiful, and I love the key. And like, it's just when I saw this, I was like, you know what? It was telling me, it was reminding me that I have the key. I am the key to
Mm-hmm.
be able to manifest anything I want, to be able to do any of the stuff that I want. And it's a beautiful reminder to have, that
Yeah,
you hold the key, you are the key. I thought that
that's
was just
exactly right.
beautiful. I thought this was beautiful. So you're also an Italian folk witch.
I
So
am.
what does your spiritual practice look like every day? Like, is it tarot, crystals, ritual, quiet
It's
moments, or just
crazy.
something completely else?
It's crazy. So I have 2 kids. They're older. So like my life is definitely hectic with my family and my business. And I have to tell you, like, not to disappoint anybody, but my life is like pretty mundane. We sit at the table, we have dinner together, we sit at the table. I cook a lot. I am Italian. So a lot of like that kitchen witch magic of like like putting that love into my family in that way, which is how my grandmother and my ancestors sort of showed us, like, that we were cared
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Um, I would say that my practice is rooted in a lot of saint work.
Hmm.
Um, so a lot of working with different saints, but and because Catholicism is such an integral part of Italian culture, whether we want to talk about how it overtook
Mexicans
the whole
too.
world or
Yeah.
whatever, it's
Yeah.
it's it's just very integral. So working with those saint energies is something
Hmm.
that I grew up doing. Prayers to Saint Anthony when you couldn't find something,
Yeah.
making signs of the cross with my fingernails and mosquito bites to get them to stop itching. All like little tiny weird
Saint
things.
Expedite. I was thinking about Saint
Yeah.
Expedite today. Like, get my electricity up and running, please. But I'm also burning candles for, I'm
Hmm.
Mexican. So I was doing one for Santa Muerte to get stuff moving and going. And
Yeah.
an hour later, electricity comes back on. So, but the first person that came to mind as well, besides Santa Muerte, was Saint Expedite. But that's
Yeah.
because I'm Mexican. So we
Yeah.
have saints are huge for us. The Mother Mary is huge for us. She's our patron
Hmm.
saint. So you do a lot of saint work and saint practice as well, because I
A
noticed you
lot.
have a lot of your necklaces. They
Oh,
look like saints.
well, so much of this is the Blessed Mother.
Okay.
So this would be Fatima. So that's the Marian
Mm-hmm.
apparition that happened in Portugal.
Yep.
And then this is actually, so I have lots of Italian amulets, but
Mm-hmm.
this is actually carnelian, and it is the goddess Diana,
Beautiful.
which
Wow.
it's hard to find because typically you'll see her as Artemis, but
Mm-hmm.
because I'm Italian, I'm connected to the Italian culture. I
Yeah.
like to have her as Diana. I have I have an ankh, and that's a funny story, but literally Thoth. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't work with deities in the way that most witches do. Like, I do saint work, and I do have a devotion to the Blessed Mother. So you're going to see a lot of,
Mm-hmm.
um, I have like literally three Blessed Mother medals on. Um,
Beautiful.
but we have a witch that works for us at the shop. Her name is Samantha, and she does a deity reading where she is like basically channels the deities, the gods and the goddesses that are around you. So around me are Thoth as well as Lilith. I have statues of them. My very first tattoo that I got in 1998 was an Ankh. So clearly Thoth has been around me for a very long
Yeah.
time, but I don't I don't like, even though like I have a statue of Thoth and I have crystals for him, I'm not like in a devotional practice to any deities besides the saints, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Because I
Okay.
have Lilith as well. I have Baphomet. My husband's a Freemason, so we have Baphomet all over the house. We have Lilith. We have several other goddesses as well as Hecate around the house. But my full
Mhm.
devotion is to, you can probably see her back here, Santa Muerte. So there's
I see her.
couple statues of her, like
So
about 8 statues of her throughout my house.
So tomorrow, when I get back to the shop, I'll send you pictures of our altar because Santa Muerte moved into the shop. I don't have Santa Muerte in my home, but Santa Muerte's at the shop. And she's on the altar, and she literally showed up 4 years ago.
Beautiful.
So
Because
she's
you
there.
have Santa Muerte stuff to sell in your shop.
Yes.
And I've
Yes. And
seen
we
that.
make,
So that's been in my cart.
yes. And we have, we carve candles to her. She always has a candle. She always has red wine. She always has very
Beautiful.
expensive tequila. She always
Yes.
like, we're constantly, and it's so funny because when I start, so the altar in the shop has Santa Muerte, but then also which I know she's really funny about sharing space, but she's okay because it's also Blessed Mother. So it's all the faces of the mother. So she's on there with
Okay.
a
Yeah.
bazillion iterations of Mary in many of her apparitions, including Black Madonna and all. Like there's
Yeah.
just we have so many,
Oh, I can't
and
wait to see that picture.
it's crazy. But she just moved into the store, and she she gets what she wants, and that's how
I
it
love
works.
it. I love it. Beautiful. That makes me so happy because that's how
Yeah.
she is. That's her energy.
Oh, she just was like, shut up,
Completely.
and she yells at me, and she tells me all the time that she gives me more grace than I deserve. And I go, I understand. It's okay.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Yes, she's very, and it just made my heart do it like extra palpitations when you said
Yeah.
that because it was like, yes,
Yeah. That's what
that's
she
completely
says.
her energy. I love
I'm
it.
like, I
Oh my
know. I
goodness.
know.
Oh, I
That's
love that. That's so
Yeah.
pretty. I mean,
So
that's just who she is. Yeah.
she's listen, it's been great. And she does she really is like one of the foundational protections of the entire shop.
Yes.
And that's what goes on. We don't
Yeah.
want to bother anybody. We don't want anybody to bother with us. That's how
Yeah.
that's how that
And
goes.
especially if you have La Santissima there, she'll make sure that nobody
Oh yeah.
bothers you.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that's beautiful. I love that. So that is definitely a beautiful everyday practice of yours. I feel like it's
Yes.
it's so I love that. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, most of the
Um,
practice is centered in the shop because I'm in the shop
yeah,
more than I'm in my house. So
correct. Oh, I love that. That's so pretty. That's beautiful. So if your spiritual practice today had a tarot card that represents where you are in life right now, what card would it be and why?
all right, it's so let's see, I'm gonna pull it out. It's where would it be? Where would I be? I'm gonna go for the card that shows up in all of my readings all the time, and it's very dorky, but my card is the Ten of Cups.
I love the Ten of Cups. That's one of my
It's
favorites.
it's
It's
always a Ten of
absolutely.
Cups.
And
Yeah,
yours
like
is
I
Morganite,
it's
which is a perfect Morganite, and Ten of
yeah.
Cups is perfect.
So it's just really my family is my
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
And my husband always says as long as we have each other, we can handle everything, and like it doesn't matter. We'll just get through it. So like that's my practice. That's my wish. But I think the other um would have to be justice.
Hmm.
I am a Libra. I'm a Libra
When's
sun.
well, I'm a Libra in Western, but I resonate with True Sidereal, some Virgo, but I'm a Libra
Okay.
in Western.
I don't claim that Virgo energy.
I love it. I'm completely that energy, the Virgo energy, but I am Libra in Western.
So I am a Libra. My birthday is September 30th.
Okay.
Danielle, my business partner, and I both have the same birthday day and year.
How
So she's 2 hours
wow.
older than me. Yeah. And I
Past
connect.
life?
Oh, I'm sure absolutely
Absolutely.
multiples,
Okay.
and I connect to the card justice and resonate with justice. And it was while it was a difficult card to write, the crystal correspondence of blue kyanite came very, very quickly because blue
Mhm.
kyanite's very aligning. It just reminded me of like the sword of truth
Mhm.
and getting that sort of in the justice card. But I think about in my life, and thinking about like being balanced. My wish when I was in the most frustrated parts of my life so far was to not get triggered and to not constantly be pendulum swinging, to sort of like be balanced and be in this middle way where I was conscious of what was going on in my head and I
Mhm.
could choose from a place of clarity and not be spun out by other people. And so I think justice and living like doing myself justice and living in that way is a card that is integral to my practice as well.
Beautiful. I love that. So, since crystals are such a huge integral part of your practice, and that's was like I from what I read was your gateway drug into tarot was crystals.
Yeah.
Um, what what role does crystals play in your personal practice, your daily practice?
So I am a heart-centered crystal practitioner, which like means like so I actually teach crystal certifications at the class. Hello, at the shop. Somebody had posted our Alchemy Academy school. We do a big conference on May 2nd and 3rd. I'll be teaching there. But my goal is to basically have everybody open up their heart chakra. And the reason why is because it's how we connect with other people and it's how we are able to maintain a channel from our crown down to our root and back up. If the heart sort of is blocked, which often it is because we get hurt and things hurt and people
Mm-hmm.
break our heart and they smash it, right? You
Yeah.
you lock it up. And so really having people feel understand what it means to have an open heart and then moving through the world recognizing when their heart is open that even though sometimes things come through it that don't feel great, we can still keep it open. That's sort of my practice with crystals. So everything I'm pretty much wearing except for the carnelian, which I just added today, the Diana.
Mm-hmm.
It's all heart chakra. I have a pink tourmaline, a green tourmaline, and an emerald. That's what I got. And
Beautiful.
so it's a lot of, and then in my home, I actually have my house gridded with rose quartz and all heart chakra.
Mm-hmm.
So it to me it's all heart chakra stuff. But then, you know, over here I have this is a really gorgeous from Mexico carved Blessed Mother. It's rainbow obsidian.
Beautiful. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
so
That's
she's gorgeous.
beautiful.
And she's just like right here. This is my vanity. You're in my closet with
Hmm.
me. I'm in the broom closet.
That's okay. I'm
um,
sure a lot of us still are in the room closet.
and this is a natural aura. You can't really see it, but it's a rainbow aura druzy amethyst from Uruguay. So that hangs out here too.
Oh my goodness. I can
Yeah.
only
So these are
imagine all of the crystals around your house,
they're
especially like
around.
because you have a huge shop. You have a really large shop.
Yeah,
There's
I
two of
I
them, right? Because
do.
they're right next to each other.
Yeah, so we have one main building that has crystals,
Okay.
that has we have all bagged herbs, we have candles, carved candles, we have perfume, housewares,
Mm-hmm.
teas, mugs, every waters, Florida waters, but like every kind, like Florida water, carnation water, Canaga water, like
Yeah.
anything you could think of. And then next door is the bookstore, and that's where the tarot cards, the books, and the decks are. So
Beautiful.
it's pretty insane. So yeah, but there's a lot of crystals around all the time.
I love that. Beautiful. Because I mean, I have crystals everywhere as well. I did purchase a crystal from your shop, which is this one right here. Can you explain this one? Because
Yeah, so phosphosiderite is a rarer stone. It is a crown chakra stone connecting you to beyond your angels and your guides. Like I would
Mhm.
like to, I think really more so like really thinking about phosphosiderite. I think it actually connects you to the bit of your soul, like your oversoul, that's sort of up there in the matrix, or sort of like up there with the all. So like connecting you all the way up is what I think. What how phosphosiderite connects to me.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And I have a hard time even remembering how to say it. But when I first saw that crystal and I was just shopping through, like looking through your shop, and then this one really stood out to me. And when I looked at this crystal on your shop, my ear started ringing.
I love that. I love
And I
that.
was like, okay, that's it. I need to get this one. And then I was reading into it, what you had the description. I was like, oh my gosh, this makes complete sense why
Awesome.
my ear was ringing as I literally
Yeah.
saw this crystal.
It's such an upper
Yes.
chakra. Like it's so up here. It's amazing.
Ah, beautiful. That's just, yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. So your deck and your collaboration with Amalia. I did
Mhm.
hear on Bobby's live your connection with her and how that happened. Can
Ugh,
you explain or go through that again with
it's
our
so
the new
wild.
people here? Yes, I think it's a beautiful meant to be connection.
It's wild. So basically, I'm in the shop every
Hmm.
Saturday. So my weekend day is Saturday. Danielle's weekend day is Sunday. And so I was in the shop on Saturday. I carve candles, so I was carving candles, and Amalia came to the back and she said, I'm an artist. I do different things. Would you be interested in something?" I go, "Yeah, yeah. Could I have your card, please?" And then I had reached out to her later and said, "I have an idea for a project. Would you want to get a cup of coffee?" And obviously she's local. So we met up and had a cup of coffee, and she said, "Tell me about yourself." And I said, "Oh, I'm the child of jazz musicians." And she's like, "That's so weird. I'm the child of jazz musicians." And I was like, "Oh, that's so weird." And when she told me her last name was Drews, and I said, "Are you related to Glenn Drews?" And she's like, "That's my uncle." And I said, "Oh, that's my parents' trumpet player." So, like, literally, there's a picture of her uncle in my parents' basement.
That's amazing. And the fact that you guys are now, like, I'm sure you were excited to call your mom up and be like, "Mom,
Yeah.
guess what happened? Guess who came in the
Yeah.
shop today?"
She's like, "What?" Yeah, it was so odd. Um, yeah. So I saw somebody mention our blind date with a book and a tarot card on
Mm-hmm.
over on TikTok. That was also a crazy accidental thing that we started doing, because I TikTok just like served me regular blind date with a book, like regular like novels.
Yeah.
And like it was like bing. I was like, I have a lot of books. Like I have a lot of books next door. We have
Me.
like hundreds of them. I was like, we could
Yeah.
totally do this. So that started, I think like 2.5 years now. I think we've been doing it. Oh my God. It's a lot.
So you start doing Friday night lives as well
So the
on
Friday Night
your.
Lives, we
Mm-hmm.
started during COVID because we had to close, obviously, like
Mm-hmm.
everybody else did. So we've been doing that now for 5.5 years, almost 6 years. I think our first sale was like April or May of
Mm-hmm.
2020. And so we were actually going live every single night on Instagram. And then once we were able to reopen, we do it on Fridays. And we do have some other lives that we do on Instagram with authors and things like
Yeah.
that. But like seriously, like every Friday night we're live from 8:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. We do 15% all new crystals. Like we're
Mm-hmm.
still showing all of our Tucson goodies. We do new books, new decks. So that's our thing every Friday night. We're live.
That's wonderful. So you also have another sale that you just recently mentioned on your Instagram today. With if you book
Oh,
a reading, you have the
yes.
possibility of winning.
Yes, so every once in a while we'll do like enter to win and fun contests and things like that. So we
Mm-hmm.
are doing if you book a reading, and we do in-person and virtual readings. We have
Mm-hmm.
amazing readers. If you book a reading, you get entered to win a basket, like a tarot basket. It has a tarot deck, a tarot book, some fun little goodies, and also a 15-minute reading. So for every 15-minute increment, you get one entry. So if you do a 15-minute reading, you get one, 30-minute, two, et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to draw at the end of the month on March 31st. So
That's exciting. So you have a lot of
yes,
good stuff. You giving back to the community.
we love
Um,
to have fun in the
yeah.
community, give back, give away, and we love to teach. We love to have all the other creators, like Wiser has unbelievable authors and so much talent that
They
they
do.
publish. So like all of the Wiser people, we have a great relationship with Llewellyn, so we're always having those
Mhm.
authors and creators on. But I'm glad that everybody's resonating with the deck, and I see that there's some comments about the
Yes.
color theory and about not resonating with the other crystal decks out there. It's really funny because there's a creator and I love her, and we've sold a lot of her decks. Her name is Kara. I think she lives in New Jersey, and she did Crystal Struck Tarot. And we carry that deck, and it's like
Hmm.
more like graphic illustrated, and it's like a little bit almost more of a pip deck, but it's gorgeous. And she's a graphic designer. She designed it
Yeah.
herself. And she and I must have gotten the idea for the deck at the same time, because she had, I think, an oracle or an affirmation deck that came out first. She didn't do tarot at first. And
Okay.
I had already been working on this deck with Amalia, and she released her tarot deck. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like
Yeah.
I have the chats and like all my work to prove it if anybody wants to say I stole or whatever.
Oh
But
my goodness.
you know how people on the internet are,
I
right?
know that's how they are,
But
unfortunately.
it's so funny because I love her deck, but
Hmm.
I need more imagery. So it was important for us to figure out how are we going to feed some of that Rider Smith Waite energy into the deck while having the crystals come through, while having each suit make sense color wise as it
They
relates to
do.
stones, as it relates to the energy, as it relates to the chakras and how the archetypes connect. So it took a year just to match the crystals and the cards. It was
They make
like,
sense, like 100%. The crystals, I mean, obviously the images, because you are going with the Rider Waite Smith. So
mhm.
I think this is a perfectly executed tarot deck.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was I feel like cheating a little bit because I have a lot of like knowledge because I sell a lot of tarot decks and I see a lot of
Hmm.
tarot decks. So
Yeah.
I sort of, we're getting new decks all the time. So I sort of see like, oh, that's interesting. That works. Oh, I don't know. Maybe that could have been executed a little bit better. So I really did put a lot of research into sort of what's out in the world. And,
I love it. Beautiful. Well, you did a great job. I mean,
thank
I
you. Thank
review a
you.
lot of decks as well. So when I saw this one and I was going through the images and, I have some knowledge of crystals, not as much as someone who's live, who sells them and lives them, 24/7, but I do have knowledge of some crystals. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. Oh, this makes
Yeah.
sense. Yes, I totally see that.
Awesome.
So, and even the images, the way they were created, I think they're absolutely, I mean, they're absolutely perfect. So yeah,
In
I
the
love it.
in that emperor card that you pulled earlier today, I think Amalia actually took a picture of the pyrite that I gave her. So it was like my pyrite. It's actually pyrite from the pyrite from Huanzala, Peru is the best quality pyrite you can get. And she took a picture of my pyrite and like layered some of that in the actual card.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
crazy.
it's beautiful. It's such a perfect card as well for the pyrite and the emperor, and then the way she drew it on here with the crown.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. And you can actually look, if you see even closely, you can see all the
Yeah.
little parts of the pyrite down there.
So somebody, Psycho Pump of the Void said Bloodstone and Abalone Shell are their ride or
Or
die. And
ride or die.
I love that you work with Abalone Shell. In my
Hmm.
advanced crystal healing class that I took with my teacher, Laurel, as well as other teachers, one of those teachers was a an indigenous Native American man. And indigenous people work not only in North America, but all of the Americas work very, very closely with seashells. Because you think about seashells protecting the animal that's inside and how that
Hmm.
translates to the energy. But using the abalone shell to sort of calm the confusion, I believe, of the Seven of Cups, right? That's that card that where you have all of
Hmm.
those choices and like the overthinking mind where you're like in analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
How do you get out of that? So that's why abalone shell was selected for that.
So I found a barnacle shell in
Mm,
Florida that is also great for protective magic.
that's
So I
awesome.
like putting
Yes.
that in because of the energy that it gives you, but it's also what it protects as well. So Bobby has a question.
I saw.
Are there are there any stones that rub you the wrong way? Like what's your least favorite crystal?
Okay, so for the longest time, it's not my least favorite crystal anymore, but for the longest time, lapis lazuli and I were in a friggin' fight, which is so interesting
Really?
because yeah, like we were beefing, man, like we were beefing, and lapis lazuli, it's it's connected with the star in my deck, which is
Mm-hmm.
about obviously your intuition and being
Yeah.
guided by your true north, which would be connected to lapis lazuli because that's a stone of like inner authority, your inner authority. I just maybe because I didn't trust my inner authority. But lapis and I really had a hard time about it with it, even though like for Libra and September, it's a very like closely connected stone. It really pissed me off. But now I like it a lot more because when you have a stone that you absolutely can't stand, try and force yourself to work with it because there's something there
That
that
it's telling you.
that is telling you. So I really did lean into it. I am a little bit of a snob. I like crystals that have rainbows or light play
Like
in
a good
them.
lab, a good
Oh,
moonstone.
give me a lab, give me a moonstone,
Hmm.
give me any kind of quartz with something cool going on in it and a rainbow.
Yeah.
Can I comment on iolite for cleansing or orthoceras for grounding? So I would not use iolite for cleansing. Iolite is a stone of the third eye, so it's not really going to have the vibratory qualities that you would want to use for cleansing. It's So iolite is connected with my deck with the Knight of Swords. Iolite is a wayfinding stone. So the Vikings would use iolite on an overcast day, hold it up in the sky if they couldn't find the sun, and because they're
Yes.
polarized, they'd be able to
Yeah.
see where the sun was. So
Yeah.
that's why I connected it with the Knight of Swords, like that wayfinding towards the truth, towards your path, towards where you need to
Hmm.
go. So I don't really connect iolite with cleansing. I like for cleansing black kyanite, nothing better than black kyanite in my opinion. It cleanses everything it touches. Selenite does that as well.
Hmm.
The satin spar that's everywhere. It's mundane, super inexpensive, super great.
Yeah. I mean,
So
selenite's a good one. Yeah.
those two I think are really great. Orthoceras is grounding. Orthoceras is actually their fossils. There's ammonites in there, they're fossils, they're millions and millions of years old. So they're grounding, yeah, but also connecting you to your past life, to your experience as a human being on Earth, because it has all of those codes from the fossils that have lived for millions of years before we even were a thought. Because I actually am writing an oracle deck right now, and was writing a
Yes.
card today, and I was writing about. I googled because this is part of one of the cards that I'm working on. How long Homo sapiens have been on Earth, and it's about between 300 and 350,000 years. There were pre-humans that weren't Homo sapiens that we are derived from, but we've as that this current iteration as we are human beings about 350,000 years. So that's what you're accessing when you're working with orthoceras, like 350,000 years of,
Wow.
yeah,
I love that.
crazy.
So my sister Rochelle is asking, do you remember the very first stone that called to you?
My answer is probably going to be very boring, but you have amethyst in your name, so I'm going to say amethyst and rose quartz. They're master healers for a reason. Those were the
Hmm.
first stones I accessed as like buying like altar specimens. In terms of jewelry, when I was a kid, my grandmother used to work in a flea market as a side hustle. She would sell stuff, which is probably where I get like my like buy, sell, trade type of energy and
Hmm.
owning a store. It comes natural. And there was a Native American silver seller, like those, like right now they're like so expensive, but turquoise is expensive, but like the indigenous silver and you get the cuffs. So I would make her, my grandmother used to call me, give me, get me, I want, because I was always asking her for stuff. So she bought me turquoise and black onyx in jewelry. I think I was 8 years old when I got those. So those would be the first crystals I got, but as an adult, probably amethyst and rose quartz.
Yeah. Those were mine as well. Amethyst and rose quartz were my first crystals. Hers was she was drawn to carnelian first.
I love carnelian. I mean,
Hmm.
carnelian is like, so I was taught that carnelian is caffeine in stone form. So it's action, which is why I paired it with the chariot. Um, to just like be in that action mindset. It helps you get stuff done, even stuff like that you don't want to do. So
Hmm.
carnelian is super great for that. Absolutely.
And Psycho Pomp's asking, what are the main uses of amber? I associate it with voice work and throat chakra. I'm curious on your take.
So funny about amber, because we got through all the correspondences. I set it all up, and the sun is citrine. And that's probably the correspondence that aggravates me the most because it seems so like, of course the sun is citrine, you know?
That's Bobby's card or Bobby's crystal.
I mean, it's a great crystal. It's a
Yeah,
great card. It's
like a
beautiful.
manifestation. Yeah.
But literally, after like Amalia was drawing the art, I was like, oh my God, the sun should have been amber. The sun should have been amber. The reason why, because amber isn't a crystal, amber
Hmm.
is petrified tree resin.
Hmm.
Amber is basically petrified sunlight, if you think about it.
Oh.
So amber is like the most bioavailable way we can access the energy of the sun beyond going outside and like laying out and getting a suntan. So like
Oh.
working with amber is sunlight, in my opinion. So it would make sense where like bring that energy of moving at the throat because
Hmm.
it's illuminating, it's solar, it's sun, it's like getting like think about sunlight just like clearing everything out.
Yeah. And the rays, all of that coming out and just warming you up as well, making you feel, but if you
Yeah.
overdo it, then it's not good.
Yeah. But that'll just have to go in the oracle deck, I guess.
Yes. So speaking of an oracle deck, so was there an ETA for this one?
Oh, well,
No.
first, I'm still in like the phase of getting my little ducks in a row and
Yeah.
putting it out there. I have to show it, to my publisher and see if they like it, which I hope they will. But because okay, tarot obviously, as you know, has a system of 78 cards, and this is based on the Rider-Waite Smith. And so I had a structure and an order to work with, and now
Oracle
Oracle,
doesn't.
there's no structure. So I'm like, how am I going about this? Like, what's the
Hmm.
and the cards were channeled, right? So I'm basically like, okay, like what do you want to work on now? And so today one came through while I was
Yes.
sitting entering inventory. So
Nice.
like that's like I was actually entering that stone. And
Yeah.
also none of the stones can be in the deck. They have to be all new stones.
Perfect. So maybe Vivianite will make an appearance.
Maybe it will.
Maybe.
Maybe it will. Maybe it
I
will.
love that. Yes.
Yes.
Oracle deck too. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited. You're about to rock the card
Yes.
reading world, pun intended.
I think a lot of people that are like, because crystals were like my first entrance into like woo metaphysical. I
Hmm.
didn't know that like some of like the hardcore witches see like the woo woo metaphysical, like crystal girlies, like more new agey and were sort of frowned upon. I also sort of get looks where I go because I don't look like a typical witch. I'm very blonde. I do have a Leo moon. I feel like my hair is very Leo moon, but like I don't have the vibe that I had when I was in my 20s. I'm much sort of brighter and sparky. And so I I'm thinking like I work with these stones. These stones are my friends. These crystals, like I connect with, like you could see, I could just talk about the stones and like channel them and give you the meanings. And I do a crystal healing certification class where it's 7 hours and I literally barely have notes and I just talk. And I'm like, we're
I
starting with
love that.
Earthstar. Now we're going to Root. Now, and I just will give you all the information. And so I want to create these systems where maybe crystals are seen as the tools. I know we use them in spell work as correspondences, but I feel
Hmm.
like they need to get like their just due.
I
That's
love
what I
that. I think it's gonna be phenomenal. Yeah.
I
You use
know, but
crystals, you know, a real witch.
I know, but you know what I mean? Like I sort of well, first of all, the TikTok witches are so judgy, I can't even deal. But I do like to watch the girls fighting. It's sort of funny. I love gossip. Um, so I don't know. I've been toying with the idea of making an oracle deck. There's a lot of tarot and oracle. I mean, there's a lot of oracle decks, but like
There is.
there's not like a lot of ones that you could really get a good reading out of. Some of them they'll be called oracle, but they're more like affirmational, where like you
Yeah.
can't really give somebody some type of like divination with it, which is like really important to me. If I'm making something, I want you to be able to do some form of divination with it.
Yeah. Cursing the Fae and the moon is some real dirty work. I stayed away.
For sure, for sure, for sure.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's hilarious. That's
That's
hilarious. So, in this whole card deck, is
mhm.
there a card that was extremely emotional for you, like really hit hard and said, maybe because it was your card, maybe because you resonated with somebody that's in the afterlife?
Um, so in the beginning of the book, I do have like a dedication, and my grandmother had passed away. It'll be almost a year this April.
Mm-hmm.
And I dedicate this as my Queen of Pentacles. She loved a beautiful house. She was always redecorating. She was always moving to find the next best house.
Yeah.
Um, so that was pretty emotional. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the card that when I wrote this card, I knew that the deck was gonna be awesome. Was the devil.
Oh, I love the obsidian disc because I have an obsidian disc
Yeah,
and it's fabulous. So that one was
yeah,
a really great card. And I think my friend, my sister here, Courtney, Aries Witchcraft, when she was watching my walkthrough, she automatically commented on the
yeah,
devil card. Yeah, which makes because you're looking at yourself and your reflection. And
yeah,
that is definitely the devil moment. Like it's not to say that you're the devil, but what is it that's mm, turning your thoughts or making you think differently or question stuff and because you're
yeah,
looking at yourself, you know?
yeah. I wanted this. I remember what I said about like connecting with the justice card and like being in the middle and having like not
Hmm.
being swung out. I think so much of that practice and being an empowered witch or practitioner is mastering your energy. And to master your energy, you need to know your shadow. I don't think you're ever going to master your shadow. You're never going to not
Yeah.
get triggered by stuff. But I think you have to be intimately acquainted with it. And so the idea of using that black obsidian to
Hmm.
scry um is so important. So jetstone, very popular in Hispanic culture, evil eye protection. How come
I
witches
love
not hear
jets.
about it so much? So interestingly enough, another stone that's not a stone. Jet is not a stone. Jet is petrified
Hmm.
driftwood,
Yep.
and it's very, very lightweight. And
Hmm.
one of the things, the metaphors that I like to use for jet, maybe I'll put that in my oracle deck. This sounds like a good one, is that things aren't as heavy as we make them out to be.
Oh, that's nice.
Right? Because when you put the jet in your hand, you're like, "Oh, this is so lightweight." Yeah, most everything, we add this meaning on it and we bog it down and make it
Yeah.
so in terms of evil eye protection, that makes sense
Oh.
because keeping it light, it's also very reflective, right? To get that reflective energy,
Yeah.
but also keeping it light. The thing that you need to remember about jet is it's very absorptive. You could use it to actually take headaches away. Like I will put them to my head. I'll put them if I'm getting crampy. I'll put them on my midsection. But because it also can pull pain out of the body, it it absorbs and you have to cleanse them more than really any other stone. So I like to put it in a dish of Himalayan salt to just keep cleansing it. So when I need it, I keep it in the salt, and when I'm not using it, it's always cleansed.
So I found jet. I went to Whitby Abbey in England, and that's where I found a lot. They have a lot of jet there.
Yes. That part of the world is where the jet is in the ocean, and that's why, you'll
Hmm.
find a lot of old, like, Victorian jewelry where they carved the jet
Hmm.
because it's, like, easy to carve.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. I hope that makes an appearance on your Oracle deck because
I'm gonna have
I
to
love jets.
write it
So your
down.
brain's probably going and
Oh, yeah.
getting making all these notes everywhere. And I love that. That's beautiful. Um, what is something about creating a tarot deck that most people would never expect? Because there's probably people that want to create decks or even
Mhm.
just an Oracle deck. What's something that people don't expect but is going to happen?
I think about how in terms of tarot, because there's 78 cards, like, how long like, if you're creating 78 pieces of art, that takes a long time. And when we first started this process, I thought I was going to self publish it. That means that I was paying Amalia per card. And
Hmm.
I thought that I was going to then take everything, send it over to China, have it printed over there, and then bring it back here.
Yeah.
I I got picked up rather quickly. It is the way this happened, it's not normal. Um, I think that what would surprise some people also is that it is not normal for a writer to come in with their own illustrator. Usually the creator, which is the writer, because the writer sort of conceives of what the deck is, will pitch the publishers, and then the publishers will give them an artist.
Wow.
So,
So
yeah.
because because you came in with Amalia already in hand per se, they
Mhm.
were okay with you already having Amalia.
Yes, but that also, there are some places that, like, they don't wanna work that way, and I really was very specific with who I wanted to work with because I didn't wanna be with I like to be like a big fish in a small pond, that's, like, my energy, and so I didn't wanna be, like, competing with, like, I didn't want, like, so many girls at the dance, you know?
Yeah,
So,
true.
yeah, so that's something that was, like, really interesting to me. Obviously, there are deadlines. You need
Hmm.
to, you know, make sure that you're meeting them. I made sure I met my deadlines. I would look at the astrology and decide, like, I actually submitted early because I was like, the astrology sucks. Like, I don't want to get this in early,
And that
earlier.
was for last year in March. You submitted in February of last year, correct? Like the
Yes, last
final.
February. Yep. So last February, my final, and then you have to go through a couple rounds of editing. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah. Yeah.
process. That's a
It is.
process. So Aries is wondering how making a Valhalla ladder out of jet would be, if possible. I think because it's light enough.
You definitely could. It's just about finding pieces that you could sort of like string. I mean, we make them with driftwood, so I think you
Hmm.
definitely could. Absolutely. Or just like weave, like maybe like get like one of those like like stone baskets, and then like hang them along.
And then Psychopomp is, can you grind up crystals into the paint? Yes,
Oh
you
yeah.
can. I've seen where people grind it very, very fine and then
Mhm.
add it into spell workings as well, or like candle rituals, and you have like
Yeah.
the actual little crystals ground up on there. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think that.
absolutely. And we actually have upstairs at the apothecary, we took all of the hard 90-degree angles out and put triangles that are painted in selenite paint and then have like copper in the middle. And that's to just sort of like
Oh,
basically like elevate the space. We have like a five.
energy.
Yeah, so
That's genius. So even
yeah.
doing that in your own house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh
that's
yeah.
I love that. I think maybe on my next house I'm gonna have to incorporate that into the corners and stuff and kind
Yeah.
of elevate, especially like an altar room.
Yeah, take the hard angles out. It helps really elevate the energy in terms of the positive ions and the negative ions. Like positive ions actually don't feel good to the human body. It's negative ions that feel good, like running water and like rain after
Hmm.
time. That's all negative ion.
Wow, that's beautiful. Um, are there any family traditions or ancestral practices that shape your magical worldview? Like
Hmm.
stuff that your grandmother did or
I My grandmother always, like, any stranger pretty much was welcome at the table, and my mother is the same way. So I think being inclusive and curious about different people, and like I said, having an open heart, that comes from my family. And that's sort of been like the what I wanted to carry forward in Amityville Apothecary, where I wanted people to feel that they could come in no matter where they were in their journey, that they would never feel judged for their practice or what they needed. Like, I'm a this kind of
ah,
witch. I'm a that kind of witch. Like, I don't, you
beautiful.
too, you, man. Like, everybody can like go through their life and do their thing. I'm not judging anybody's practice. It's their practice for the reason. So, like, that's really the culture and the foundation of like the way the whole store was built.
Oh,
Yeah.
and that just makes me smile because it speaks highly of who you are and your family as a, I mean, who you are as people and treating people that come into the shop. And um I think that's probably why another reason why there is a lot of success coming into your shop because everybody knows about your shop.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, everybody knows Amityville Apothecary. I mean, there's nobody that I've not talked to. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I get stuff from that shop," or "I know about the shop, and I would love to go there one day." Like, I've mentioned your shop several times, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I know the shop. I already follow them on Instagram."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great to hear that like the message is getting out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember when we were getting started in the fall of 2018, like we were like, what the hell are we doing? Like, are we going to be okay? I'm like, let's just go for it. We're doing what we want to do. But it really did start with, energy and energy work and just like trying to, oh my gosh, like make sense of like how we move through the world and
Yeah.
like cutting confusion and just like living in your most authentic way.
So is that like considered? Would that be like a full blown magic moment when it came to like coming into a brick and mortar shop and what you were manifesting and putting together and working on? Was that like a true magic moment for you?
It was definitely a magic moment because the shop became available literally
Hmm.
around our birthday. Um, and it just once I was like, let's do something. We didn't even know what the something was. When you talk about manifesting, you don't need to know what it is that you're manifesting. I didn't know what it was that I was manifesting. What I knew was how I wanted to feel.
Hmm.
I knew how I wanted to feel. I knew what type of conversations I wanted to have with people. I knew that I was going to be interacting with people. And that's really what I like leaned into. So I think that it was pure magic. Once I sort of opened that channel, the universe was like, all right, let's go. We're doing this.
Oh, I love that. It feels like such a magic moment, like one that's just continuously evolving and growing, especially when you talk about the crystals and the deities you have there. And
Mhm.
it just feels like such a living, breathing magic moment.
The shop wants what the shop wants. We say that all the time. People
Yeah.
like literally people that apply for jobs or people that start, we're like, the shop wants what the shop wants. Like you stick if you stick, you don't. Like it's not me, man. It's the shop.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. So, if you could leave the tarot and spiritual community with one piece of wisdom, what would it be?
Oh boy. The wisdom is that really nothing is that serious. I mean, it's serious, man. It's all serious. I don't want
Mhm.
to be like a love and light asshole, excuse my cursing, and not
You're fine.
see people that are suffering, but also like
Yeah.
life is such a blink. And a lot of the stuff that we put a lot of focus and important stress on in the grand scheme of things, it's just not. It's not that. Like, and I and that's again why, you know, listen, I'm not beyond throw. I'm not, I will, and I've said this in another podcast I do. Like, if somebody's got to get it, I have no problem. Like, doing a beef tongue and doing some gnarly ass shit.
I'm
I
not
have
either.
no
Yeah, I'll
no
do it.
problem.
Yeah.
No problem. But but literally it takes like in the almost 8 years that we've been in business, maybe I've done 4. It really like it's not worth a lot of shit just isn't worth it. Like you just keep it moving, you keep it fresh, you keep you stay authentic to
Thank you.
yourself and you just keep innovating and moving forward. And
Yeah.
that's in your life, in your practice, in your magic. Don't worry about everybody else is doing, worry about yourself. If you gotta
Hmm.
smack a bitch down, go ahead, but keep it moving. Don't like get bogged down in it.
No, I love that. Smack a bitch down. That's amazing. And I do have one more question that I forgot to ask and I skipped, but I really want to know what
Yeah.
you think on this. Do you believe tarot is something humans created or something we discovered?
Yes.
To both.
Listen,
It's like did the chicken come before the egg or was it, stuff like that?
We could have like a real silly conversation about time and how time isn't, linear. So
Yeah.
yeah, right? It could be
I
something
mean,
that
I
you're
believe
creating.
time's not linear. So when
It's
I'm doing
not.
past life work, I feel like there's lines that intersect, and I feel like it's like a big radio wavelength that just,
Yeah.
or like a red string theory. Like how many times are you going to be crossing that same red thread?
Right. So yes, regardless. Like the answer is yes. What was it given to us? Sure. Did we come up with it? Sure.
Yeah.
It's like when people ask me, is the Amityville horror house haunted? I go, well, if it wasn't
Depends who
haunted
you ask.
but if it wasn't haunted when when the Lutz family lived there because
True.
the DeFeo was murdered there, because millions of people think it's haunted, it's haunted.
Yeah.
You know what
That's like
so
some,
like
yeah. That's like some people say, oh, like I went to the Zach Bagans Museum in Vegas and
mhm.
I felt haunted stuff there. Other people go and they're like, I didn't feel anything.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think sure. Um, I think it's not for us to know.
Ooh, nice. It's not for us to know.
And even if we knew, we'd mess it up anyway. We'd
We should
screw up
totally
the
would.
story because,
Yeah.
even now, you show a video of something that happens and you think you're seeing something like something truth, capital T truth, and the person next to you is going to see it through their own lens and see something completely different. So,
So that reminds me of the dress, the blue dress. Everyone said no, it was gold. Some people said it was a blue
mhm,
dress. Like depends on who you ask. Some people saw one color,
yeah,
somebody else saw a different color. So it's the same thing with that.
exactly. Same. So,
Oh,
not for us
I
to
love
know.
that. Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna do our giveaway today, guys. If y'all want to do hashtag, and then we're gonna do Dina, her name. Add that into the comments down below. I don't have the StreamYard link, my little doohickey on the screen here, but everybody start putting in hashtag Dina. And then we'll pick one winner, and then make sure you're in the US so that I can mail it to you guys. If you're in Canada or out of the country, I'm so sorry. I cannot do that because of the expense of shipping. But yes, you have one new unopened box that I got from Dina's. And if you don't win tonight, you can still log in to Dina's website at Amityville Apothecary, and then you can still order the tarot deck, and she will ship it out to you before it even drops. When does it actually drop?
So it
April?
drops on April 6th. So
Yeah.
Monday, April 6th. I think it's the day after Easter, which is like really fitting also.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple more minutes. I have currently 11 entries. So make sure you guys put in, oh, Bobby already has a copy. Of course you do, Bobby. Of course you do. So I'll do a couple more minutes and then we'll draw a winner here. But thank you guys so much for being here. We have 12 entries now, 13. Thank you, first of all, Dina, for being here. Thank you for sharing your crystal knowledge with us. I think everybody in the chat not only was excited about your tarot deck, but also learned something from you with your
Thank
crystals.
you.
So thank you so much. It really has been um, just an absolute pleasure to have you. And even in our little liminal space that we're in right now, I think there was definitely a lot that was learned tonight, especially like, I mean, I
Oh,
definitely learned from you, and I'm excited for your new Oracle deck. I'm excited for
thank
that to
you.
come out whenever it comes out. I will definitely be
I'll see.
purchasing it. I would love to have you back on and talk about your Oracle
Any,
deck.
yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
Listen, anytime. I love talking about crystals. I geek out. I love teaching. If anybody wants to learn crystal healing, I do a certification, although I hate saying it's certification because I think who the hell am I to certify anything, but people want a certificate, so whatever. Crystal Healing Certification 1 is 2 and 3 are coming up this summer. So if you want to, you guys could take level 1. I make you wait a year between 1 and 2 because I am picky with how, like, I need you to really like sort of like absorb and learn. It's a lot of information. Crystals took millions of years to form in the ground. You can't learn it in 30 seconds. And so if you're interested, that's on, our website as well. I'd love to have you in the class.
Yeah, definitely. And then check out the Instagram on Fridays at 8:30 Eastern time. And then shop for some crystals, you show everything, not just crystals on there.
Crystals, jewelry, candles, herbs. I mean, you ask for it, we'll do it. We do giveaways, we laugh, we're inappropriate.
Perfect. Next time, I wanted to come on Friday, but we had lost electricity because I wanted to come on with a drink in hand and start purchasing crystals, and I couldn't because I had no electricity. So, but I will definitely be catching you on Friday, and we'll definitely be awesome. I'll definitely be purchasing some more crystals from you. I think, and I've now found my official crystal purchaser. But thank you. So we have 13 entries, which I love the number 13. So we're going to stop at that one and we're going to go ahead and draw. So here we go, and to draw, and we'll see who the winner is. Why is your name in there, Bobby? Lady Blind Wolf. Thank you so much. So you know how to get a hold of me, Lady Blind Wolf. If you just want to send me your email or your address, I will be more than happy to send you this crystal tarot deck to you. How exciting. One of my sisters got it. So
that's
great. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. I'm excited. So please message me your address. You already know how to get a hold of me on Messenger, and I'll get this out to you as soon as possible. So thank you all for joining. Thank you all for making this wonderful live conversation even more livelier. I have the best chatters, the best community,
and
the best sisters, the best sisters ever. Yeah, thank you all so much. If you want to hold off until the end, and we'll chat a little bit before we say our goodbyes. But once again, Dina, thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing your beautiful story behind Crystal Keys Tarot with us, the journey with the tarot and the crystals and the wisdom that comes with blending all of that with your intuition into this beautiful, beautiful deck, guys. Again, if you did not win tonight, definitely, and you want it before April 6th, reach out to Dina. Purchase it on her shop, and she'll be more than happy to mail it out to you guys.
Absolutely.
So thank you all once again for joining me on Voices from the Liminal, and we will see you all on the next live, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh no, it's giving me a hard time with exiting here. Yes.